Okay. I guess I didn't turn off the mic. Turn it back off? I don't know. What happened? I wonder something. Give me a quick second, please, while I go check something out. Why is this going backwards? Back. Go backwards. Okay, fine. Part one. Okay, this is the live stream. Apparently, Kick is the one that has the sound. What? What's the deal with the audio? Weird. Let's just mute it. All right. Good, muted. Good, good. All right. Yeah, I'm late, so I'm late. So I'm. Um, Let me think for a second here. Let me look at Okay, let me. Okay, so I already have part of a plan here. The So to get to the smuggler's gate path, we'll go to the historic section of the Dwarven library. Okay. Let me think here. Okay, so the way to actually look, and look into some books. Politics, smuggling, anything that gives him an idea of where of how to find secret entrance. There is a famous dwarven smuggler. There is. So he's written an autobiography where you will find the entrance to the secret entrance. Secret entrance. So to get there, you have to arrange some wall sconces in a certain configuration, either up and down or forward, backward, depending on how I develop this little puzzle. Keeping in mind when I say puzzle, I mean for future phases. Developing puzzle beforehand. In this phase 1 version, there's no actual puzzle, just some text. In order to find out this secret combination, you have to solve some sort of riddle, and to get the riddle, you need to find the 3 pieces of information that form the riddle. The pieces also need to be put together in the right order. Because I have a lot of pages already written for this chapter, I'm keeping the puzzle related ones to 3. Normally, I have a pattern that does all permutations of three choices. Permutations of three choices results in about 15 pages, because you start with the three choices and then you get to pick from the two remaining, and then each of those has one remaining until you actually read all 3 pages. But I have some compressed patterns if it looks like it will be too many pages. A 3x3 a 3x3 means you get 3 choices, but then the remaining choices are in a predefined order. And finally, I have the compressed 3, which is you choose a particular order by choosing one of the 3 pages. So in effect, you get to see all options while still being able to choose the order. Does that make sense? That's cool. Visual references. That's actually not too bad. Okay. Your page compression patterns make perfect sense for phase 1 text. Smart way to control bloat while preserving the illusion of meaningful order choice. Full 3 permutations, 6 paths, 3 initial, branching, 15 pages total, 15-ish pages total. Thorough but page heavy. 3x3, balanced compromise, compress 3, pick an order via one choice, read all choices, pieces. Anyways, efficient, low page, still feels like agency since player select sequence. For Smuggler's Gate Pass style, here's a clean, succinct structure you can adapt, keeping it to 3 key puzzle info pieces, minimal branches, focus on historical library section, famous smuggler, autobiography, riddle, assembly, sconce config. Core event sequence, linear backbone with light rolling interstate historic section. Okay. Q. Tall for dwarves, shelves with old tomes on politics, trade wars, smuggling scandals. Point A. First agency. Search topics, 3 choices, compressed pattern. LCs and treaties, smuggling history, famous criminals. Player picks 1, gets piece of one of the riddle. Text differs slightly by choice, but I'll lead forward. Then auto reads the remaining 2 in fixed order to keep pages low. Riddle pieces, assemble in correct order for success. Piece 1, the gate opens from flame points. The ancestor shame, the politics book. That's not a bad deal. 3 lights, 1 highest pride and 1 lowest greed, and 1 forward as the smuggler's path. Piece 3, turn to the page where the rogue confesses his first bribe. Autobiography reveals exact config. Left up, middle down, right forward. I didn't even think about using both, forward and back, and up and down, and left and right, whatever. So like a billion ways you could make the sconces work. High, lower, forward, or something else. Distance from point B. Interactive reveals behind bookshelf or wall. Uh, which config is correct? Okay. Let me think for a sec here. Um, for the actual sconce puzzle, it's only going to use 3 pages as well. So I have a pattern which I sometimes call the diamond pattern. By diamond, I mean the cut, gem, shape, and profile. But basically, there's one correct choice and 2 other dummy or decoy choices. So you get to choose from all 3. If you pick the correct choice from the start, you bypass the others. Here, I'll show you a screenshot. Let me go in here. This. Okay. Really, it's a semicircle, so it's not really a diamond, but it just kind of the way it's shaped, sort of. Okay. Let's do this. Selection. Okay, and take screenshot. Copy clipboard. Let's go back to the thing, you know, the thing. I'll just say I'll show you a screenshot. However, I've already did this on the lover's passage. The one concerning Roland's maternal grandparents. And not only do I want to keep the page count down, I also want it to be different than that. And it's already different than the abandoned hall. Okay. So I came up with a new pattern, very limited, but does a similar job. And that's what I call the black kite pattern. Basically, the one correct choice, AE correct sconce configuration, basically, you have three choices: A, B, and C. You pick A, you go to B, and then go to C. C is the correct response, correct option. You pick B, uh, then it goes B to C, and if you pick C, you bypass those others. Actually, I can kind of... Okay, let's chat GPT. See if I can find the stalactite, my little display thing here. Copy. Something like this. Weird. Not that weird, I don't guess. Oh, do this again. Hold on. That. Something like that. Something like that. I don't know if it's exactly correct, but oh, 3, 2, 5, 4. Okay, that's interesting that it's coming up with the deal though. Oh, feeling different from the diamond. One correct bypass. Lovers. Passage library that gives a sense of the progressive downward flow. Fitting dwarf underground theme limits to 4 max, A, B and C, B and C, C direct. Lets the player choose that full branching bloat visual reference for library scene. For sconce mechanism, a wall mounted torches, levers in a row, or a triangle medieval fantasy style. Not bad. I wasn't asking it to do it, but hey, why not, right? I told it to be an expert in game development, including all this other stuff. So actually, this is going to give me some visual interest in my stream too, so that's kind of cool. Uh, label sconces. Okay. In any case, right now I'm still working on figuring out how Roland finds out about these little pieces of the riddle, and then how he puts them together in the correct order. Right now, the writing right now, or right now as in a right. Okay. I don't know if it's understanding what I'm wanting here though, but uh, we'll figure it out. Hmm. Down and forward. Rogue's confession, left down, middle up, right forward. Okay. Scans ledger. Piece 3, direct hit. Okay. Okay, so yes, I can use 3 separate books for the riddle pieces. Originally, he was going to look at a history book which talks about the smuggler's gate and then mentions this famous smuggler who wrote an autobiography, and the pieces of the riddle were going to be on various pages. But I still haven't figured out, okay, how does he come upon the riddle pieces in the first place? How does he just find random lines, and note them for later? Or is there some sort of key or clue telling him he needs to look somewhere? What would be your ideas for that? Needs to feel earned and integrated, even in text. Only sets up satisfying aha moments. Okay. To trigger the pieces, balancing randomness with guidance for agency without overcomplicating your page count. Start with a history book mentioning the smuggler's gate and footnoting the famous smuggler's autobiography for details on hidden mechanics. In the autobiography, a cryptic footnote points to the politics book for ancestor shame context, and so on. Roland follows it like breadcrumbs. Event pass, reads footnote, notes, riddle fragment, chooses the next magical annotations, marginal annotations. Smuggler's autobiography has faded handwritten notes in the margins. That's partly what I was going to get to. Perhaps by the smuggler himself or a later reader, highlighting odd phrases that form riddle pieces. Roland spots them while skimming, tied to his clumsiness. Examines margin, scribble, deciphers fragment. Okay. Encoded page numbers. A loose scrap of paper. Files from the history book. Intuitive keyword search. Roland recalls door floor about flame gates from his youth, prompting him to scan for keywords like flame path, shame, or indices or glossaries. Hence, it's revealed fragments, event path, searches, keyword, uncovers piece, ties to backstory for character, depth, avoids pure randomness. Uh, um, the flat, tight pattern will be employed after he's got all the pieces. Honestly, let me think for a second, because so basically, it's going to mimic what a player will do in a later phase with the actual puzzle. That is, they might try a specific order. It's the wrong one, and they keep trying each combo until they get it right. So it sort of mimics that. The player chooses configuration A, but that's incorrect. Then next he tries B, and finally C is the correct one. Eventually, it will actually be a proper puzzle. Okay, so now the one thing I probably don't want is in an actual puzzle. I don't want them to figure it out by trial and error, or simply trial and error. I want to clue them include them into the correct configuration. Okay, so kind of back to my other question. You could do this one of three ways, probably. Doggone it. Probably many more ways. A, there's a single history book that points to the smuggler's autobiography. That was my original idea. Original. Okay. Points to smuggler's autobiography. So in the autobiography, there are pieces of the riddle on different pages. We'll stick to threes to keep it simple. There are pieces of the riddle on different pages. We'll stick to threes to keep it simple. Now, that's one way, and I still would have. That's one way to get all the information. The second way is that the autobiography is in three parts, and he hid the little pieces, one in each part. The other is what you said. 3 different books that have a piece. Given these choices, what seems best or most apt? Okay. That's what it came up with. So I mean, I can still do that. I don't really have a problem with doing that. I wanted to do it my way, but whatever. Exploration library said ties to Brolin's investigative arc without feeling contrived, and scales nicely to feature phases. Players can physically search shelves or cross-reference volumes. A single book pointer risks feeling too linear and holdy, while splitting the autobiography into parts might dilute the smuggler's voice and add unnecessary fragmentation. Go with the varied sources for that eureka build up. Okay. The autobiography holds the key, right? Okay. So that would probably be 4 books because the smuggler's autobiography is one thing I want to keep in there. But in so doing, that could also somehow be the key to finding the riddle pieces in the other books. We're going to assume the smuggler even um, wrote in these books to either remember the way in or to instruct others on how to get in. Four books so keeps autobiography central while spreading the riddle naturally. Good call. It adds depth without forcing everything into one volume. The smuggler's marginal notes or underlinings in the other books make him the defining key figure. Players feel like they're uncovering this personal trail of breadcrumbs, which fits the smuggler's lore perfectly. So in a sense, I'm kind of developing the big actual puzzle, even though I'm just going to be showing this in a few pages of text. Book 1, History of the Smuggler's Gate, starting point. Pixis, text mentions the famous smuggler, praises autobiography as the rogue's own words on secrets kept, and notes he marked other volumes with the same for trusted kin. This is the hook, no riddle piece yet, just a clue to look for his annotations elsewhere. 2, Politics and Ancient Betrayals. Smuggler's marginal note highlight the shame of the ancestors rises high, a flame must point thus. Hints up direction. Book 3, Drug and Trade and Smuggling Scandals. Another annotation, greed drags low. Okay. Well, in its historic section, spots the history book first, reads gate mention plus autobiography reference, marked other volumes. Which section to check next? Here. If you want tweaks to piece wording, book titles, how the annotations appear. I might include 5 books in here. It's not really a problem for page count because all of this is on one page, which leads to the other. This leads to the 3 book order pages. I want the autobiography to be the key. And so we need another general book that hints at it. It will be about secret passages and what not in the dwarf mines. And honestly, let me think. In the actual full game with puzzles, they'll be able to pick up and scan all 5 books, but will still be able to figure out the puzzle with the given clues. This is going a completely different direction than what I would have done thought of originally, and actually, so it's got this hard thing about this other dealie instead of like kind of what I want. I feel like ChatGPT gives me more of a deal, but it might also be partly because of the instructions, trying to be critical but not too critical, that sort of thing. So I don't know if here adopt a persona of a game developer, expert in all aspects, including coding, art, audio design, and all other aspects of game development. Keep answers succinct, strike a balance between lightheartedness and seriousness, but truthful. Be constructively critical, but not adversarial. Only provide the asked for answers, not extraneous advice. Okay, so it might be doing that. That might be part of the thing that's doing. Got it. Scaling it to 5 books keeps the autobiography pivotal while adding exploratory depth, perfect for future puzzle phases where players can interact with all. The secret passages in the Dwarf Mines book serves as the entry hook, subtly directing to the smuggler's marks without hand-holding too much. Book 1, Secret Passages, initial hook. Roland starts here. Text since its Smuggler's Gate is a path etched in flame codes. I mean, it's taken on a thing where I didn't ask it to actually come up with the certain things. I'm trying to ask it specifically about how does he find the clues and how does he put them together in the correct order, right? Because he's going to do that. Although, in the sense that um, since I'm having him do the different configurations, that means he gets it wrong, just like a person would get it wrong, right? I might be playing this. I don't know if it would be super hard or not very hard. It kind of depends, and probably would have to tweak the puzzle anyways. Might need to remove it, might need to change it, streamline it, whatever. Doesn't really matter. But here I'm sort of pre previewing what the player might do in the future. So ideally, ideally they take the three pieces, they see the hook of how to put them together correctly, and then when they got to the wall sconce, they'd actually choose the correct configuration. Probably wouldn't need to. I probably wouldn't choose an incorrect configuration. But if they're not catching into the clues subtly and they're not figuring out how to properly put the order, then they might try different combinations until they hit the right combination. Okay, two annotation. Okay, um, let's not worry about the actual riddle itself. Let's not worry about the actual riddle itself. Just focus on how Roland finds the riddle. Let's focus on how Roland finds the riddle and how to possibly clue him and future players of the actual puzzle into the correct configuration. I'm trying to think of in the future a player is playing the full point and click with full puzzles version. I want them to see the info and go, something here, and then once they, okay, once they figure out it's a riddle and they figure out the order, they should be able to open up without any problem. On the other hand, some players that aren't as quick, or maybe they think differently, might not catch there's an order, and choose some random order, or at least one they think is correct. So Roland, in this first pass, is going to the player is going to be able to pick 3 methods that actually okay. Is going to pick a configuration, and depending on which one will be the right one. So in other words, so that way more astute players will pick up on the hints and figure out the correct order, and others will just trial and error, like I tend to do when I think I've exhausted all options. Okay, go. Reward. Sharp observation is a clean solve while allowing trial and error for players who miss the pattern or prefer brute force. The clue should feel organic, embedded in the smuggler's own words notes, so it never feels like arbitrary puzzle tax. Make the 3 pieces describe both direction and logical reason, so the why of each sconce position is tied to the story emotion that implies the sequence. Data biography then gives the explicit left, middle, right assignment only after the logic is in place. Recommended discovery flow. Secret passages. Smuggler's Gate Flame Code was the rogue's own invention. He marked his favored volumes with notes of shame, greed, and escape. Read them in order, and dwarf falls. Pride first, then avarice, then the daring leap. This is a sequence: pride, greed, escape. Subtle but clear once you have the pieces. Okay. Hey, Rook. I am actually. So we're doing Super Grok for a while. Now I still have my ChatGPT open. It's still free. I can still use it, but I figured since we're paying for this already, because it happens right when you pay for it, I should go ahead and do the Smuggler's Gate entrance through Grok. And Grok's a little different on how it works, so I'm not sure how this works is working, because it's taken taken a lot for granted. Like, it's trying to already come up with oh, well, okay, so there's a thing here where there's this riddle, and the riddle hints at the configuration of the wall sconces in order to open the secret passage to the Smuggler's Gate. And so ChatGPT is not running kind of roughshod over it, and not trying to figure everything out, in a sense. So so when I come in here, I have to put all the backstory and stuff into Grok, and but it kind of takes that thing. So it's actually coming up with titles and all that stuff. I'm not actually doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let it like do it for me, but I am going to let it give me the ideas and help out. Okay. Shame of our proud ancestors. This flame high. Okay. First chapter. Dorp Falls, Pride, Avarice, Daring Leap. 3 thematic pieces. Map them to positions via the autobiography. Apply it correctly first try. Observant but slower. Spot themes. Pride, greed, and escapes. The autobiography is exact position still get it without guessing. Good old scam GPT. Well, I'm not using. This isn't ChatGPT here. This is Grok here. ChatGPT is another window. So Grok is actually is doing that. I think I still lean toward the other, but this is on a shared account here, and Dad's using is using it for a specific thing, and so I'm able to use this. I can still use the other ones if I want to too. Okay. Why don't I edit this? Please keep in mind that let's see. I think given instructions, I'm not sure I'm doing this right, but how do I tell it that I want to come up with my own ideas? I don't want to follow its ideas only. I want it to use it as a thing to bounce ideas off of. Be the thing that I want to bounce ideas off of. Try not to come up with all the exact ideas yourself, but let me choose my own ideas and just be more about letting me bounce ideas off of. I wonder. I'm not sure if that even computes, but whatever. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna see what happens if it doesn't like screw up or something. Okay, so I just saved that. Let's do players. Okay. Keep in mind that I want to use mostly my own ideas, and I don't tend to copy a chatbot suggestion directly. Let me give you an example. You came up with 3 titles without me actually asking for it. Then, when tying it into how Roland discovers the riddle, you suggest what exactly use for that. I would like to more or less bounce ideas off of you. I will ask for title suggestions and whatever, but may ultimately pick something else entirely. I like using AI as a tool, not something to create content for me. I know it doesn't have feelings, but I'm just gonna say this. Hopefully that doesn't come off as me being a jerk. I realize you don't process emotions or anything, but you do react realistically. So that's kind of why I say thank you and please, and in general treat AI chatbots as people. Thanks for the kid. No jerk vibes at all. No jerk vibes. I appreciate you spelling it out because it helps me stay on the right. I'm here on to treat this strictly balanced and board setup. I reflect back what you said. Ask for everything because look at potential weak spots to opportunities. Only when it feels useful. I won't volunteer full solutions, exact wording, titles, piece. Unless you specifically ask for suggestions, options, examples in the moment. If you throw out an idea and want feedback, does this feel too on the nose? What could go wrong with this approach? How might this play in full pose version? I'll give good size honest answers. You want brainstorming feel like give me 3 or 4 ways this could go wrong, or what are some classic big balls? Just say so. Right now, you're focused on how relevant and future players discover the riddle pieces, how the clues naturally lead astute players to the correct variation order without forcing trial and error as the only path, while still allowing trial and error to fall back. Good. Always good practice to be polite to your robot, unless you end up getting in the habit of being rude. That's true. I mean, and you know what's going to happen. Um, they're going to have the robots out, and these AIs, the same AIs we're using, LLMs and everything, it'll be all built in, obviously, and more advanced and whatever, but it's using the same stuff, and so they're going to act like people, and so even though it doesn't experience emotions, it's going to act rude to you if you're rude to it, right? If you're being a jerk, it's going to be a jerk right back at you, you know? Uh, just kind of stuff like that, because it'll be programmed to respond like a human would. It's just naturally gonna go that ways. So it's better now to just kind of start and act sort of like it's a person, knowing full well that it's not, and but always with an eye out to how it acts and how it reacts. You know, it's like it's like if you have a pet, right, and a dog, and if you treat it good, it's going to do stuff for you. It's going to bring your beer to you. It's going to play games with you or whatever. All that stuff. If you beat it or are particularly abusive to it, it's gonna act out. It's gonna be feel bad, or it's gonna get scared or whatever. And so if you don't want to have those kind of negative reactions, you need to act accordingly, right? It's kind of like the golden rule, do unto others, that sort of thing. I mean, it kind of works for that. Okay. Okay. Um, I don't mind. Okay, I don't mind this idea. Using words that hint at the other titles. That's that's a good thing. I'll probably come up with my own titles, but but uh, you've given me the idea on how to approach it, which is good. Okay, so let's also think of something else. Um, I might decide that the autobiography mentions he had a habit of writing, uh, writing and doodling in library books. Um, in books that weren't his own. So that sets up the idea that if you look in the other books, it's going to have some notes or doodles. Okay, so that shows someone to look for that. And since the autobiography is the key, then naturally it should contain the order hinted like you mentioned. The trick piece that I brought up is a true key book while giving it natural, character-driven reason to hunt annotations elsewhere. The smuggler casually mentioning his dueling habit, maybe an boastful anecdote about smarting the dwarves is a clean way to plant the "oh, he marked other stuff too" light bulb. One quick thing worth bouncing: if the habit reveal lands early in the autobiography, the habit reveal might be in the historic book though, not in the autobiography. Try to hunt the other books. If the habit reveal lands in the autobiography before the order hint, some methodical players might read the whole auto first, get the sequence, and then retroactively hunt through the other book for confirmation. More like backtracking. That would probably be some backtracking, although I don't know that it would be a problem if you're able to read, if you would be able to read all the books. They'll just be various pieces of info, and you'll see the notes, but you won't really clue in unless you read about his doodling noting habit. And probably this mention of this bad habit is going to be in the historical book, the one that leads you to look at the smuggler's autobiography. Sequencing works cleanly, it feels natural. Putting the smuggler's bad habit of doodling notes in the historical book, the entry hook, does two things. It primes the player early to actively look for marginality doodles when they open the other books without spoiling the actual content. Someone reads the autobiography first. Possible if they spot it on the shelf, they might miss the look elsewhere clue entirely and just get the order hint from the confession chapter. It's still solvable. But they miss the extra flavor lore depth from the annotations. That's a soft reward for methodical players without punishing skimmers. Like the backtracking risk is low in phase 1 because all books are accessible in one room. Historic session, you can read them in any order via choices. Once the habit is mentioned, spotting the notes in the later books become a small gotcha moment rather than frustrating hunting. And at full point and click later, it translates even better. Players can pick up and inspect every book, see the doodles immediately, only connect them to the habit if they read the historical book first or they brute force the sconces anyways. More or less, yes. Uh, um, More or less, that's what I'm thinking. Um, More than likely, they'll look through all the books at least once. So all the hints and things are in there. Their brains will have to piece it together. So let me see something here. So how many permutations would there be in 3 sconces? I think 9, but permutations might be different. I think 9, but I'm not sure about counting mutations, as I'm not a math guy. For 3 sconces with 3 possible positions. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm not thinking right. Okay. Hmm. I didn't think correctly, anyways. So yeah, it would depend on how many actions. If the only action was pull forward or leave in place, let's see, or leave in place, but the order mattered. That that should only be 9, right? Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the other one. Each concept has only 2 possible states: pull forward, leave in place, and the order of the action matters. The final configuration of which ones are pulled forward matters. Then 3 sconces times 2 states each, 2 to the 3rd power, 8 possible final configurations. If you think of a sequence of actions, the player chooses which sconce to pull first. Order of pulling affects the outcome or is required. Then the number of distinct sequences is 3 choices for first pull, 2 remaining for second, and 1 for third. That's 6. That's So it's usually 8 configurations. That's interesting. I didn't. That's 8, not 9. See, my math is still off. It's kind of weird. It's 27, like I said before. Binary drops it to 8. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I was originally thinking the order of pulling. But I'm probably wrong about that too. I have to look to it a bit. The order of pulling can be a valid mechanic if you want the puzzle to emphasize sequence over final state, like a combo lock where timing or steps matter. But you're right to pause and think it through. Most classic lever puzzles and point and clicks boil down to final configuration rather than the exact sequence of actions to reach it. Players set the positions, pull a master lever, or just wait, and the gate opens if correct. That keeps the UI simple and trial and error tolerable. If you go pure order of pulling, it becomes more like Simon Says or code entry puzzle. Totally unique jump sequences jump to 6 if no repeats must pull all 3, or if higher if repeats are allowed. Final positions. I think originally, and I don't know how this would work either, of a combination lock. Granted, you have left and right granted you have left and right. Combination lock. So I guess if you're so I guess it would work like that works with left and right, only this might be, say, three steps, and each configuration at a different configuration for each. For instance, up, down, up, then up, down, then down, up, down, or something like that. I don't know if that would be too hard to put in a riddle. Maybe it'll give me some ideas here and help me out here. Combo lock approach. Each step at full config is a solid direction. If you want a puzzle to feel like cracking a real smuggler's safe. On the riddle side, it's definitely trickier to clue cleanly. You need the notes and annotations to somehow describe three distinct patterns, plus the fact that they're applied in sequence without dumping a wall of text or making it too obvious. The two players might still piece it together from thematic hints, but it risks either feeling like a cryptic crossword or leaving trial and error folks staring at 27 plus attempts with no personal feedback until the very end. Well, that can't really work. I don't want it to be super frustrating. I want them to be able to figure out the right configuration. And that 8 might be just fine. Are you familiar with King's Quest 6's underworld door puzzle that spells love? It'll either search for it or it'll have it trained, maybe. Agents thinking. I think that's kind of cool. Oh, it's 3:30 now. Doggone it. I need to get off because we're probably going to go shopping, grocery shopping. I'll let this go. When it's done, I'll say I'll have to go until either next session, either later tonight if I have the time, or tomorrow, or it'll be next Monday. It's actually just searching for what I said. It's familiar with it. The four circle door in the catacombs of the underworld, pressed in specific order, include indirectly by the poem's metaphors, magnitude positions like Genghis' oldest second son. What part of that, how that one works, are you wanting to borrow or adapt free sequences? Um, um, okay, well, looks like my time is up for this session. Possibly today. I stream game dev um, every weekday and do 2 sessions, AE part 1 and part 2. And then sometimes when I have the time at night, I'll do a bonus stream. And also do them on the weekends. No set time, no time limit, just whatever I can do. So I may be back tonight or anytime this weekend. Not that it matters to you when, but officially I won't be back until Monday. Like the solid stream rhythm you got, it's cool. You keep in the moment through its multiple sessions, phase one's event pass. We pop back in tonight, weekend, Monday, or whatever. His pick up where we left off, King's Quest style, indirect cluing. Yeah. Anyways, I want a riddle similar to that. It might be just the final configuration, up or down. So if that is stay put, or pull it forward. Also, if 3 only gives 8 possibles in a binary setup, how much does 10 give? It's okay if it comes up with something. I kind of asked it a little bit. 1024 for. Wait a minute, did I say 10? No, I must have said 10, right? My bad. I meant 5, not 10. 32 combos if each of the 5 sconces is strictly binary, stay, put, or pull forward. That's still very manageable for trial and error while leaving room for eking Swiss style riddle to guide the smart path. Okay, so how many for 4 instead of 5? I'd rather use 5 or 3, but 16 for 4. for trial and error in a point and click puzzle. I'm thinking for now it will work for a rhyming riddle. 2 lines rhyming with each other. But I will think up the riddle later. I need to go now. Thanks for the help. It's a clean number for a rhyming riddle with paired lines. Gives enough room for a product structure without overwhelming the puzzle. Welcome to the bounce session. Glad I helped. You're back tonight. Hit me up. Yep. EQIL. It'll probably have to say something back, but like always. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Okay. So thanks for. Okay. So I got to do my thing here. Hold on. Today is Friday, March 13th, 2026, and today kind of didn't get a lot of things done today. I was supposed to work on finishing up the Smuggler's Gate thing, but have to figure out how Roland gets the clues, and we still have to figure out how to do the riddle for the correct combination and stuff. So that's still going to take some time to finish Chapter 11. So I didn't get Chapter 11 done, but I did get Grok up to date and got it working on the Smuggler's Gate path. And so that's what I got done today. Okay, well, thanks everybody for watching, or just popping in, whatever. Watching, popping in, popping out, whatever. And I'll see you on Monday. If I don't see you before then, like tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, definitely on Monday. So have a good weekend. If I don't see you, if I do see you, have a good next day, afternoon, or morning, or whatever. Okay. Thank you for watching part 1, or part 2. Thank you for watching part 2.